Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let me see who's here. Let me see who was here first. Helen Marmon, thank you so much for being here first. And hello to Gwendolyn Daniels, Janice Goodrich, Mary H., Rochelle Baudreau, Kathy Gabby, Antoinette Kennedy, Lakiva 1000. Carol Lunn, Adrian Allen, Andrea Allen, and Light Side of the Moon. Okay, and Sonia Johnson. I know Light Side. I was just so confused by that, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's hope it does mean something bigger, right? Okay. Sorry for the last minute notice. Hello, Judy. Sorry for the last minute notice. I had to run some errands today, and then I needed to eat something. Anyway, that's enough. I'll let Who Shot John. The important thing is that we're all here, right, Brenda Phillips? Right. Hey, Tony C. So, well, I made a video last night. I thought this was going to be the usual, what do you call it, food truck video. But no, it has been doing about 1,000 views per hour since it's been up. Now, for a content creator, that's good news. So thank you all so much that have watched it. I was surprised. I'm like 1,000 views per hour. Let me see here. Okay. 15 hours ago, 14,000 views. Not just another food truck video. All right. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Thank you so much, everyone. I knew we'd get there. I knew we would get there. Now I don't have anything to complain about, unless I talk about the other videos. And if you are new to Royal Sussex and you don't know what a food truck video is, that's when you stay up all night editing the video, like one about Harry and Meghan sponsoring a food truck to the King Center, and then maybe 2,000 people watch it. 2,000, barely a ripple. But this time, 15 hours, 14,000 views. I have nothing to complain about. So thank you all so much. Not just another food truck video. Okay, now as far as the content of the video, that's another thing. It was a groveling apology, which I suppose was supposed to be for both husband and wife, but it seems to focus on husband and not so much the wife. So I don't know what to think of it. But Michonne Harriman, Michonne Harriman, he was the one that posted it. Otherwise, I'm sure, like most of us, we wouldn't have known it exists. But he posted it, and I saw it, and I'm just like, oh, I think this will be my food truck video for the day. And so that was how that happened. So, hello, Beverly McCaskill, B. Martin. Is that 10? 10. Okay. And Marilyn King. All right. Very good. Elaine Parker. All right. So let us continue, shall we? So I know it's hard to believe, but this may have happened to you before. Now, I didn't mean for it to happen, but it happened. So a friend of mine that I cared for so dearly, we had a bit of a falling out about the Duchess of Sussex. And I mean, this was before Royal Sussex a falling out. Meghan Markle's secret $5 skincare empire has the royal family furious. I said she does not have a skincare product. Yeah, but the paper said and such and so, and they mad. The queen is mad at her because she thought that the money should be over here, and she has the company in America. I said she does not have a skincare product. She does not. You know, like the Oprah Winfrey gummy bears that make you lose weight. This is that same type of advertisement. I don't know how they get away with this, but this is that same type of advertisement. Now, fortunately, um, even though I look now, see, this is the thing. When you look for it, you can't find it because I wanted to verify that this was non existent. So Mo Shannon mentioned it to me. I said, "What? What? Wait, wait." I said, "Do you have the link for it?" I said, "Please send me the link. I've got to see this because you have no idea how much trouble this has started." And so this is another one of those things that looks like a celebrity endorsement, and it certainly is not. Um, Not the Oprah Winfrey gummy bears, and certainly not the Meghan Markle secret $5 skincare empire. It doesn't say that it's her product, it says her empire. Uh, it's not real. It's not real. And I tried to tell the person, I said, please stop looking at that stuff. It's not true. But unfortunately, anything that you put in front of her and you call it news, it's got to be real. Just like this article slash advertisement has got to be real. And I I'm sorry to say that that cost us a lot of time with one another because she felt as though I was being condescending to her, and I just I guess I vented my frustrations about how people have been monetizing all things Meghan Markle to the point where the lies that they would tell, not only was it uh, restricted to, why should I say, it wasn't restricted to the news or so called news, it drifted over into Megan's skincare products. And anyway, so we didn't talk for quite some time. And then finally, I get a phone call after the Queen died. And how's your channel going? Are you talking about the Queen? Are you talking about the Queen? And yeah, so you know what? We made up, and we were right with each other again. Now, unfortunately, she had been ill for quite some time, and I didn't know that during the absence that we had, that she had succumbed to the symptoms of the pandemic and ended up in the hospital and everything, and it was just a mess. But she was already fighting cancer, and she passed away some months ago, and it's just unfortunate that that happened. Um, but if it wasn't this, we also had our differences about Trump. We've had our differences about many things where we didn't talk for a while. But it's just I can't understand sometimes how such harebrained ideas about certain things. And trust me, it didn't help when I figured out that she voted for Trump. Um, it didn't help when I figured out she voted for Trump. So it was like a host of things that led up to us not speaking. But yeah, so this was the article, and I don't think I've ever shared it before. But I don't know. I shouldn't even call it an article as much as it is an advertisement. But it is. It and well and she actually apologized to me. She actually apologized to me. She said, I don't know, sometimes I get confused about things and sorry. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean we did make peace with each other, and we had been in and out for a long time. We worked together at one time, but yeah, poor thing. Any little thing, if it's in print or if somebody says it often enough, it's to be believed. And sometimes it can, especially like I told you guys when it came to January 6th, I was a basket case for a few days. That with everything else that led up to that, it just pushed me over the edge. So unfortunately, it is sad that so many things that's in the media can divide families. And, like even when it came to the pandemic, you had people that sided with the orange menace, Donald Trump, and they didn't wear a mask. And you got people who, like myself, still wears the mask, especially when I'm in a shop or an elevator or something like that. I mask it up. If I'm on an airplane, I put on my mask. At the airport, I put on my mask. The grocery store, I'm still all about the mask. But during the height of the pandemic, it was just unforgivable to me, people who refuse to wear a mask. So, I get it now. The pandemic, for all intent and purposes, people say that it's over. Fine. I'm still wearing my mask. So, yeah, Mary H., how sad, Baron. But I learned people who believe this stuff about Duchess Megan wants to believe it, wants to believe it. My daughter doesn't know much about the Duchess Megan, but she loves her. Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, yeah. And then, too, sometimes people will challenge you on stuff, not that they care. Like I've had people challenge me about Megan, not that they care, but I think it's just about pushing my button. I've had that happen, and that has been a disaster. And like, first and foremost, I just try to, well, yeah, that's what they said. But then when it's repeated a second and a third time, then it's like, okay, this is not really about Megan, is it? This isn't really about Megan, is it? So yeah, it's too bad, and I hate that something outside of your close and personal relationships, anybody's close and personal relationships, could cause such heartaches, but it does happen. I'm just like, if you know me, if you trust me, if I'm telling you emphatically this is not a thing, as much as I follow the Sussexes, I believe I would have found out. I believe some deranger would have made us think about it. It's not true. It's not true. And let me just say in my own defense, I didn't compel or force anybody to tell me about this. It seems as though it was brought to my attention again to push my button. I I I just I don't get that. I don't get that. And you guys, I'm not very quick to rush to judgment on anybody. I like to know the particulars, but that's one thing I don't like is when someone just pushes my button repeatedly. I guess waiting for a reaction. That is hurtful to me. So okay, I have gotten that out my system. Oh, VS, you're still masking, right? You're still doing mask. Is that a mask symbol or is that like a head injury? Is that like a full body cast? What is that emoji? Hey, Big Mama. Okay, so anyway, last time, um, again, this is a bunch of nonsense, and it's unfortunate that I was very close to someone who thought that this was real. They thought it was real. It is not real. And also, Oprah Winfrey does not have diet gummy bears, as Oprah said. Please, nobody come to me asking about those gummy bears. They do not exist. I do not. I do not endorse anything like that. And if you do see it, it's not me. So, yeah, don't know how they get away with this. All right. So with that, if you saw the video from last night, or the early morning, an apology to Prince Harry, a former women's magazine editor, shares her regrets. Let me see. The books were Let's Be Friends. The books we're reading. What is that? The vibrators we're using. The rants and having more. Anyway, that's part of the thing. Um, all right, whatever. So that is a screenshot from the article. Um, let's see, Sonia Johnson. I had one such friend. I found myself walking on broken glass every time there was a conversation with, which there is a difference of opinion. I had enough and stopped all communication. I hate when it comes to that, Sonia Johnson. I hate that. But, you know, I do a lot of self examination and I say, is this something relevant or is somebody pushing my buttons? Because like I said, when somebody brings something to you, and I'm just like, okay, this is weird. So I try to, that's not true. That's not true. And then it comes back again and again, like they want to make you believe the worst. And that very same person told me that I don't, yeah, let me see. How did she say it? She said, um, I think she needs to lay low. People here in the US don't like her as much as you think they do. And that is directly from the tabloids. That is directly from the um, the Rangers. And knowing how I feel about the Sussexes, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me this? And then repeating it as if you're trying to convince me that I got it all wrong. I I don't have the words for it. And I certainly don't have the patience for it. And I'm so sad that that happened, but um like I said, if it wasn't that particular topic, it would have been something else or something else or something else. Um, it's like anything that is counterintuitive, anything that goes against the grain, that's where that person wants to be. Like they have, and that's one of the ways that, um, like say a Donald Trump, that is how he became so successful, making people believe that they have the inside track. And if you just follow what they're saying, then they will protect you. They will protect you. And that is why a lot of the media right now is doing everything they could or can, that is, to keep us afraid and reactive so that we will keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. So that until we're like almost insane with or petrified with fear. But that is how they sell the news. That is how they sell the papers. That is how governments govern, is to create this fear of others and to make you so afraid all the time. And I watched the Denise Welch, and I saw the way that, oh gosh, what is her name? Is it Jane? The way that Jane was gaslighting her. And then what's the black lady on the show? even she's, am I wrong to say that even she seemed to gaslight her? And I'm just like, why is it everything Denise says, they're pushing back and pushing back? Well, it could have been one of the hotel employees. Or was it the bug the police said was in my room? And if you are Denise's friend, like she says she is, then why are you doubting her? Do you know when I was watching that, when I was watching that, I had to remind myself to breathe. I was like, I was so upset watching that. I had to remind myself to breathe. I'm like, oh, I gotta breathe. So yeah. And if it wasn't one thing, like I said, it would be something else. It is some people that will accept hook, line, and sinker and will not question anything. Anything. So let me see. I didn't see that other part from that idiot. Let's be friends. She isn't sorry. Why did she put that in? Well, you know what? Okay. Think about this. She's not really talking. She's not really talking to the Sussexes. She's not talking to us. She's trying to explain herself, perhaps to be able to, I don't know, get another job or something. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Um, well, then again, let me take that back because there is enough people that support the Sussexes that will believe everything that she said. I am a bit skeptical about it. It was an interesting read, but I'm a bit skeptical about it because it wasn't a full throated apology to the Duchess of Sussex, and it was I don't know. I don't think it went far enough for Prince Harry because if that is who you are and you just made a mistake, fine. But from 2016 to 2020, you were that person over and over and over again. And if you were not able to reason in 4 years of nonsense that maybe this is going just a bit too far, then you don't deserve that job. If you are not able to reason that this is poorly inappropriate, then what are you doing that job for? If you don't have as much analytical skills as a gnat, why are you doing that job? You don't deserve that job. That job is not for you. You need to, I don't know, work at a fast food franchise, but you don't need to be a reporter if you take information, bad information at that, and you just print it word for word as though you were there or as though you can trust anybody and everybody that was involved with the news gathering, with that institution. That's just not possible. Now, if you don't like the Sussexes, if you don't like Prince Harry, that I can understand. But that I made the same mistake for years at a time, I don't I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. As much as I appreciate the apology and I think it's a good step in the right direction, I don't know that I believe it. It's difficult for me because how do you do that over and over again if you're the person that apologizes even when it's not necessary? Then how could you do the work of a bully, day in and day out, month after month? And looking at the magazine covers for what is it, Women Weekly? I looked at several of their covers, And for a woman's magazine where you would think they would talk about, things related to women's health and well-being and fashion, and now maybe they do those things, but the cover is all trash all the time. All trash all the time. So if you listen to her words without going a little deeper to see exactly what type of magazine she was working for, then it's kind of confusing to hear someone say, I realized I was wrong for 4 years straight. That's difficult for me, very difficult. Even someone who doesn't follow the royal family could see that there has been, as I said, they have vetted the Sussexes as though they're running for president. That is the kind of scrutiny that I have likened to a presidential candidate. And I've seen quite a few presidents in my lifetime. But for the average layperson, this is unheard of. This is unheard of. Not to say that the Sussexes are just average people, but they're not presidential candidates. Even for a celebrity, this is excessive. When it's a celebrity, if you don't see them for a few months, then the attacks stop. But with the Sussexes, it continues as though they are out and about every day. They're not on a campaign trail. They're not running for higher office, but yet they are scrutinized and criticized day after day as though one of them are seeking the presidency. I've never, ever seen any type of thing like this ever, ever. You have a presidential season and then it's over with. This has been ongoing from day one. So that is what makes this so different. So seeing this as a reporter, editor, whatever her job was, seeing this day after day, do you mean to tell me it only just dawned on you when you watched the Sussexes, watched Harry going through this court case, that maybe you got it wrong? That's a tough one for me. That is a tough one. The wording of the apology, I think, wasn't vigorous enough. It wasn't full throated enough. B. Martim, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Hey, Black Queen. Let me see. Big Mama says, unfortunately, people believe the tabloid stories instead of what Harry and Meghan say out their own mouth. I don't discuss Harry and Meghan except with the Sussex squad. Everybody else is brain dead. That's about the size of it. Now, I have a few like uh, Sussex Sussex squad sympathizers, right? They're not squaddies, but they get it, right? They get it. And then I've like I said, out of the blue, sometimes I have someone who decides that they want to take me to task for a story that they've seen, or maybe because of the unyielding support. I don't know what the case is, but I'm just like, leave me alone. I don't get why that happens. Although I do know when somebody is coming after me. And again, and sometimes it could be, not sometimes, most times it's something else. But they expect you to answer for everything, and just like from time to time, you'll have someone white that is bold enough to want you to answer for every black person that they have ever encountered. And I'm just like, huh? Well, what did you do? You know what I'm saying? I've had that happen before. And so not that this is the same thing, but again, it's the very odd confrontation, or it's the odd inquisitions that sometimes I really have to question a person's motives. Thank you, Big Mama. J. Matt says, my friends know I love Harry and Meghan. I brought them along. They know not to say anything bad about them. I am no longer friends with one. Oh my goodness. You too, huh? She said something awful. I cursed her out. Good riddance. Jay, Matt, I promise you, I hate that it comes to that sometimes. And I definitely do not endorse or condone that. But I just have to say, a couple of times now, it has been very, very personal. And I felt as though I was being sat upon, as though they decided, oh, well, you're so involved with this. Let me challenge a thing or two. Let me try to undermine you. I don't know exactly what the entire intent was, but it was bizarre. I just say it was very, very bizarre. And of course, being a Scorpio I am, I responded in kind, right? Right. Thank you, J Matt. Let's see. Carol Purdue says, hey, everyone. It looks like the Sussexes are leaving Spotify just like the Obamas did. They moved to Audible, so the Sussexes may do the same. So don't believe the derangers spin. Yes, Carol Purdue, we are going to get to that. We are going to get to that for certain. Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching. Royal Sussex S, thank you for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member and watching Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday, Thursday to you. Oh man, I just wolfed down some grapes, and I'm just like, I mean, actual fruit grapes, not the ones that Church Nelly have. Church Nelly's grapes are usually fermented. Mine are just straight off the vine. So I'm not, hiccuping like. Wait, is Church Nelly here? I don't think she's here, right? Yeah, I'm not consuming grapes like Church Nelly. So. My grape consumptions don't come with a meeting at the end of the week, right? Right. Okay. So, where does that come from? Anyway, I don't believe her. As you say, Baron, she is either looking for another job or she wants to clear herself. Also, who knows her name? Maybe going to pop up in a court trial. Don't believe her. I don't think she's going to be a part of any of that stuff. But, there's always that odd chance that is exactly what the person says it is. And I always like to leave room with just a whiff of skepticism that is exactly what the person says it is. Until I know better, I can only take that person for their word with a strong dose of side eye, a very strong dose of side eye. So time will tell. And let's just see where this goes. I mean, it's fresh, and if it leads to like an occasional interview and a much needed, much longer conversation about journalism and ethics and such, if she emerges as the person that is like the face of redemption for an industry which otherwise people have been looking down upon more and more every day. I mean, the what do you call it? The ratings or the confidence that people have in media, whether it's print media or television or wherever, is at an all-time low. At an all-time low, people do not have much confidence in the people that are providing that public service that has been specified as a license holder in so many countries. As a license holder, you are obliged to disseminate information for the greater good of the public. But now we get a bunch of gossip and scandal, all that stuff that really should be in like some type of gossip magazine, not on television, not the local newspapers, but yet there it is. Where is Edward R. Murrow? Where is Walter Cronkite? Where are the Dan Rathers? Well, what happened to those people? Thank you, Joyce Moss. Lightside says, I am not having it at all. I should be able to tell my friends when something they said or did makes me uncomfortable, and I expect the same. I don't have time for small talks and stupidity. Amen to that. Amen to that. It is a terrible time waster. And Beverly McCaskill says, why did it take her so long to apologize? And yes, she should have been asking for forgiveness from Meghan first and then Harry. She's trying to clean up her record before lawsuit comes. Well, this is a journalist from New Zealand, and I don't know that she has any possible lawsuit coming whatsoever. Um, I don't know what the motivation was to apologize at this time, but I don't think that that's part of her, reason or rationale to apologize. But um, that's why I say, on the very odd chance, the very remote possibility that this is a genuine, heartfelt apology, although the wording is rather bizarre. Um, if this is truly an apology, time will tell. But for now, it's just like, meh. You know what I'm saying? Meh. Oh, that's interesting. Next, right? So I think it needs something else with it. I think it needs something else with it. Until then, it just sounds too much like Governor Wallace, right? It sounds too much like Governor Wallace. Um, what was that famous thing that Governor George Wallace said? Um, was it segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever? And then suddenly, when somebody bust a cap in him, then he couldn't get enough black people. And there was enough black people that couldn't get enough for him. I remember, I think it was an Ebony or Jet magazine. Has Governor Wallace really changed? Was he running for president when he got popped? I don't recall. But, I use Governor Wallace as a cautionary tale. You have to ask the question, do people ever really change? Does a leopard ever change his spots? So this is definitely one of those situations. But I tell you what, considering that she spent all of those years doing the work that she was doing, I sure hope she understands if it takes most people who have read this article equally as much time, an equal amount of time to either accept or reject it as being true or real. So, yeah, if you spent that much time, if it took you that long to finally figure things out, well, then don't be surprised if it takes us that long to accept that this is true. Don't be surprised if it takes us some time to believe it. Like, what did she say? 2016 to 2020. So don't be surprised if it takes us 4 years to believe this, right? I think that's fair. Sussex Rising happens to me all the time, mainly by my boyfriend, always questioning my support for Harry and Meghan. We got into once he doesn't mention them anymore, and he should keep that away from keep that away. Yeah, uh, like I said, I really hate that is a thing, but um, I don't know if it's like not so. You have to try to figure out, is it really about the Sussexes? Is it about me and how I feel about the Sussexes? Or is it the time that I dedicate to the all things Harry and Meghan? What is the real problem? You got to get to the root of it, because sometimes it can be about other things, and like I say, it's a very subconscious act to target the things that you love, or whatever. Not to say that that's what's going on here, but sometimes it's deliberate and sometimes it's unconscious. But or and then also ask the question, does this happen with anything else? Is this just the newest version of something that happened before? So those are the things that you have to, like, I guess, analyze, so you can know exactly where is this coming from, especially if it's an all of a sudden thing. But bottom line, I don't know Harry and Meghan. I don't spend time with them. I have made my judgments based on their deeds and action. Excuse me. And I like the way that they are with one another. I like the way they conduct themselves around other people. And so what I see, I like. What I see, I love. And when I feel that way about anybody, then that's where I throw my support. And if other people don't get that or refuse to see it, that's one thing. But if you're going to make up stuff, or if you're trying to, like, push my buttons or pick a fight or something like that because you know how I am about it, then that also speaks volumes about what we're doing here. So that's the only thing that I could suggest. But it would be a shame, and I don't tell anybody what to do, but it would be a shame to let something like this come between a good long relationship. But then I find sometimes it's not just this one thing, it's been other things, and it could be any topic. And we find ourselves in that place. When it's that, then I know for sure that, you know, I haven't gotten it wrong, that this is just another incarnation of something that has happened before. So thank you so much for your comment. Hi, Nubian Queen. So how damaged did she? Let me see. So how damaged did she cause to Megan? Did she and all the haters thought how much damage she was causing, not to Harry and Megan, only to other people? Hurting people hurts people. Absolutely, Nubian Queen. Absolutely. And that's the thing. In 4 years of that stuff that she was doing, just think of how much other people were hurt, even besides Harry and Meghan, especially not even if you are doubting Meghan, saying that she was struggling, but if you are giving a platform to someone who has doubted her, someone who has badgered and belittled her, then I don't see much daylight between you and that person. Just like with all of these British talk shows having an Angela Levin, or any of the Pierce Morgan, having any of those people on your show day after day, a Russell Myers, whoever it is, if you are giving aid and comfort and likely paying these people to be on your show, if you are giving them a platform or giving space to their platform to go after this woman of color of African American descent that hasn't done anything to you, then I have to question your motives. Then I have to look at you with the same disdain as I look at the person you invited to come on your show. Loose Women, Loose Women, Lorraine, all of those shows, they give aid and comfort to hate speech day after day. That is their bread and butter. Thank you, Nubian Queen. So let me see. I'm going to go to the next slide here. So, by the way, this is the person who penned that apology. For years, Alice O'Connell was editor of New Zealand's Women's Weekly. Is she proud of the way she covered stories about Prince Harry? No, is not. No, I mean, she is not. She's not proud of the way she covered them. Now, the photo there, that is an event that Harry attended in 2014. And I suppose that may have been the first time that she had ever spent time around him. And she really gushed about how polite he was and all those things. And yet he seemed to grimace at the reporters, and he didn't like the instructions that they gave. Let me see. How long is that? I'm kind of tempted to play the video, but I'm sure most of you guys have seen it, so maybe I won't. But I think it's like, what, 6 minutes long? But I don't know. Yeah. Why don't we? I'll play the video, and then we can, especially for those of you that've seen it already, maybe you can have a fresh perspective. Although I doubt, if you if much has shifted. But let me see. Oh, goodness grief! No, that's too long. It's 13 minutes long. How is it that long? I don't remember it being that long. Okay, so I won't play it. But yeah, just for your consideration, there is the video that you can watch, or you may have watched already. So there we go. That is the link for it right there. And like I said, at your leisure, if you want to check it out. I didn't realize it was 13 minutes long. Yeah, I guess it is. Wow. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see. And I will pin that to the top of the chat. Why is that doing that? Okay. Okay, there we go. I didn't know they had this thing here where you could do hearts across the screen. Did you guys know that? That you can, I mean, I think I've seen this before, but I've never, well, no, I've seen you guys use this before, but I've never used it before. Wow, you can do 100% shock, confetti, or whatever. Isn't that interesting? I've never seen that before. I mean, I never used it. Okay. All right. So I was this years old before I figured that out. Oh, thank you, Sharon Walker. Thank you very much for that. All right. So, yeah. So that is the pseudo apologizer. Big Mama says to her and all the tabloid hate show and haters, I dare them to step in Harry and Meghan's place. I bet neither of them would last a year. Yeah, I wouldn't even give it that long. And oh my goodness, Jane. I never paid much attention to Jane on Loose Women, but I have to say, if she is friends with Denise Welch, I would hate to see what it would be like if she was an enemy to Denise Welch. If that is what a friend looks like, I would hate to see her as someone's enemy. That's all I'll say about her. Jane was something else, and she has a very, uh, I guess, subtle personality, and yet she just talked all over everybody. Now, she didn't talk over Denise, but when necessary, Jane can get quite animated and insert herself or assert herself into the conversation as needed. Now I see why Dr. Shola doesn't go on there that often. Now I see why Dr. Shola is not invited to Loose Women that often. I get it now. And it probably is a good thing for them that they don't invite her that often, because she never would have let them get away with that. Okay, so this is the magazine cover that she said she had to go back and read the story. She looked at it and said, "Yeah, I did sign off on it, but I don't even remember what was inside of it." You know what? I could believe that. I could believe that with all of the filthy, nasty, awful things that has come out of this magazine, I could believe that you don't remember. I believe that. The thing is, you should be ashamed of yourself for not remembering what you put into this magazine that you signed off on. You should be ashamed of yourself. Another example of them finding just the right photo to set just the right mood so that they can do something that will bring condemnation to Meghan's character. Not sometime, all the time. This took a village. It took someone from the art department. It took someone to write the terrible story. It took someone to sign off on it. It's more than one person, just like with Jeremy Clarkson. Like they say, do you know how many people that article went through before he pushed the button? He made it sound like he just pushed send, and next thing you know, it was in the paper. No, it went through several hands before it made it to the newsstands. Same with this. It went through several hands before it made it to the newsstand. But if this is typical of the type of articles that they produce, then yeah, I could believe you don't remember exactly word for word what was in it, but I'm sure you understand the spirit of how it was written. I bet you know that. Oh my goodness. I was listening to Anne earlier, Duchess of Success. I screamed when she said, "I bet you don't forget how much money you made." Oh my God, that was so funny. I bet you didn't forget how much money you made. I bet you know exactly how much money you made. I thought I was going to scream. That was so funny. But yeah, funny, sad, and definitely true. I bet you they haven't forgotten the money. The money is the point of it. The money is the point of it. With some people, I'm sure hate is the point. I'm sure that the nastiness is the point. But what they all have in common is money. Yeah, money. They were paid for this. This isn't volunteer services. Now, where does this photo come from? That is the original photo. As she mentioned in the article, it was a promotion for Suits. And so the very coy look is because of the characters that they played when they're not doing promotional photos for Suits. Of course, it was this family atmosphere at the with the cast of Suits. From all accounts, it had to be like this tremendous thing to be a part of that cast. And sadly, once the Sussexes, or once Meghan and Harry were found out to be dating, then they had to hire security. They had to fence off the production sites, which was something that they never had to do before. They had to turn up the security because once they found out about the relationship, then all of a sudden you had these dodgy looking people with cameras that were entering spaces of production that had never happened before. I don't understand what is so important about taking just one more photo. I don't get it. I don't see why you have to invade a person's space to get those photos, unless, as I say, cruelty is the point of it. Yeah, I guess if you want to agitate that person to get just the right photo, then I suppose you do have to invade their space. You shouldn't, but I get that that's part of it. But yeah, so that happened. What was like a pretty open production was immediately put on lockdown because of the paparazzi. Yeah, that happened. So Megan was, living this pretty carefree life in Toronto, and then once that happened, then all of a sudden there's people peering over the hedges and peering through the windows and just creating havoc, not just for her but for neighbors. And then some neighbors actually allowed the media to put cameras on their garage or on their uh, on the eve of their house or whatever. They allowed them to put the cameras so that they could spy on their neighbor. Yeah, exactly. It's the greed. It is the greed. Okay, gosh, I can't believe we spent an hour talking about this, but it's important. It is definitely important. Elizabeth Cumberbatch says Megan is a decent person before she entered that cult, the unroyal family, and she will always be. There, never get a chance to get her in bed. She is married to one royal. William was drooling. Yeah. I wondered about that. I wondered about that. I wondered if William had some bizarre expectation. I really do wonder about that. I don't even like to think about it, but I do wonder about it because part of being, um, in the aristocracy, part of being in the aristocracy is that they do trade things that are valuable to them. I'll just put it like that. They do trade things that are valuable to them. uh, okay. So Netflix chooses oddly specific date to start streaming Meghan Markle starring Suits. God, that looked like I wrote it. Netflix chooses oddly specific date to start streaming Meghan Markle starring in Suits. Who wrote this? That looked like I wrote it. But anyway, isn't it missing something? And you know what? If I notice a grammatical error, you done really effed up. If I notice you got it wrong, you done effed up. So this seems like one of those Daily Mail articles when they can't wait to get it out and they don't really edit it, and all of the words are like wrong or misspelled and stuff like that. They do that a lot. But so Netflix is going to put it out there for Trooping the Colors. Didn't Netflix do something like that before? Was it the Harry and Meghan docuseries, didn't that coincide with something that was important that had nothing to do with the Sussex? They didn't schedule it, but they scheduled uh, the docuseries, right? And they also did that with The Crown, where they did a schedule that seemed to be an important date for the Windsors. And I can't remember what those dates were, but you gotta love Netflix because they are constantly trolling the royal family. But yeah, so this is another case of trolling the royal family. I am going to admit it, but it has nothing to do with our Duchess. Nothing at all. You're right, Joyce. It has everything to do with those big, fat residual checks. And let me tell you something. Megan's attorney that she's had for years is based in Beverly Hills. So I'm sure that she has received some pretty solid representation where her contract is concerned. I'm pretty sure of that. So there you go. There you go. Lex says Harry and Meghan docuseries advert dropped during the Earth flop. That's it. Thank you, Legs. I could not remember. I could not remember. Okay, take the starring out, right? Okay, now, okay. I kept looking at it. I'm just like, huh? Did I write that? Huh? That looked like some of my handiwork. Right, Beverly? They got me beat. They got me beat. Although they should hope I'm never in a position of power where I can set the date for stuff. And of course, there you go. There's the cast of Suits. And we are going to see them on Netflix commencing Saturday, right? There you go. Commencing Saturday. Now, DHS rejects the Heritage Foundation's attempt to get Prince Harry's visa application. Um, and I just so you guys know, if for some reason, there's the next president of the United States is not, I repeat, is not a Democrat, don't worry that all of a sudden the policy is going to change. There are plenty examples of judges that were appointed by Republicans that will have none of the nonsense that some other judges will. Plenty examples. There was one judge that went against Trump when it came to the immigration policy, I think it was. And this was, a Republican judge, but there are still enough judges out there, federal judges, that are not in the Supreme Court, right? So a lot of the rulings start in the circuit court, then the Court of Appeals, and then on to the Supreme Court. You got to make it through those first two. And if the first two judges are having none of it, there's always a good chance that it never even reaches the Supreme Court. So what I'm saying is, right now, the system is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It is not showing any favoritism to anybody. It is just merely interpreting the laws and the rules as they are written. So I will say, for now, don't worry about it. There's nothing to be concerned about. They can make all the noise they want, but they don't have a proper justification. There is no public interest that has been deemed viable. It's not a matter of national security. This is someone who has been to the White House. Prince Harry has been to the White House on business for his grandmother, for the state. And it would be like setting a very odd precedence to start picking away at a policy, at a rule or a law just because somebody is shouting loud enough. And don't get me wrong, sometimes that works, but not this time. Not this time. So, especially when you consider all of the people that have come through those customs just like he did. So, there you go. Oh, is it? It's on in the UK, huh? I had no idea. Very cool. So, as Oprah would say to the Heritage Foundation, were you rejected or were you rejected? Were you rejected or were you rejected? See, there's a difference. If her hand is over to, yeah, if her left hand is over her right shoulder, were you rejected? Now, do it with me now. Left hand over your right shoulder. Were you rejected? Now slide to your left. Or were you rejected? Were you rejected or were you rejected? See, it's all in the inflection. It's in the wrist. It's in the what is an index finger and thumb, and it's all. And you have to kind of, you know, lower your voice like Oprah. Were you rejected or were you rejected? Were you silenced or were you silenced? Right? It's very much in that vein. Which is it? So that's it. And so I suppose, were you just rejected or were you rejected with a big dose of humiliation? It matters. So there you go. To the Heritage Foundation, go to hell. Now, here's a couple more photos from yesterday that I didn't share because I didn't have them, actually, from the other day. And there is Harry, the dog whisperer. And then here's another one here on the right of Harry um, taking a photo with a few people. So did not share those, but every so often, another couple of photos come toppling out of nowhere. And so until I have successfully gone through them all, I will keep sharing them. VS says, oh, that's for someone else. Okay, so just for the sake of it, I want you to take a look at diversity of the Obama White House compared to the diversity of the Trump White House. When it comes to the White House interns, Trump has one African American front row all the way over to the left. And if they had cropped a photo like they did with Obama's White House, you wouldn't even see him. Now, with Obama, there's what, 20 African Americans or people of African descent, maybe 20. There's all kind of people there. So that is the big difference. And even though I see so many Black people out there with Trump T-shirts and Black people for Trump and all that kind of stuff, tell you what, he sure ain't for you. He ain't for you. He'll do a little window dressing. He'll bring Omarosa Manigault in there, but he ain't for you. Now, this Flag Day, I wonder if Flag Day has anything to do with, or should I say, if the birthday of the Army is the reason for the Flag Day. But either way, 248 years ago, the United States Army was born. See that? For 248 years, the United States Army has challenged, empowered, and prepared its soldiers to be all you can be, which is more than a slogan. it is a way of life. So there you go. Be all you can be. So I am not a person that is, ever glad for war, but there's a lot of young men. There's a lot of young men and young women in this country that could use a nice dose of discipline from the armed services. So no matter how you feel about war, that is something that in some nations is universal. And I have a theory: if more people had training, maybe if more people knew how to use a firearm, maybe they would stop wounding people that have nothing to do with their dispute, or at least maybe respect the firearm better than they do now. So that is why I would like to see more people enlisted, like universal enlistment, just to make sure that people understand what it's all about. But I'm probably a minority with that, but I just think that it would do more good than it would bad. There's a lot of countries that have universal enlistment, and I think it's just a little discipline that some people do not get at home. And if they're not getting it at home, God knows they need to get it from somewhere. But I think the discipline would work wonders when it comes to the morale in society. Uh, so, one of the squatties posted this. Oh, what's that, Joy Moore? Baron, that is the same black man who worked for Orange Menace wearing that T-shirt, "Blacks for Trump," with his family. Oh, is it? Is it? Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Let me have a sip of water. 1 second. Okay, so I don't care who is a fan or not. Tom Bowers shouldn't be lying like a little boy because he's angry. So apparently, this was in his book, Wendell Pierce, Rachel Zane's father for 4 years. "You always have a friend in me," he said to Megan. He never heard from her again. He said later, he too was ghosted. Well, I believe Wendell Pierce had got earshot of that. And as you can see here, I don't know why he's used the name Jimbo, but you have no idea what you're talking about. Stop promoting lies. And a book I know nothing about. No one has ever interviewed me for a book about the British BS. Meghan Markle has my full support. I told her personally, keep my name out of your BS. So, let me see. P says, Baron, some level I agree. Mandatory universal military service can instill discipline, but we've been getting a lot of fascism in our ranks here in the U.S. Not sure if that wouldn't if they that wouldn't encounter it. Yeah, and that is true. And even in the German army, I saw this thing about the German army where there has been like this neo-Nazi movement within Germany, and some of the police and people in the military was actually trying to, I don't know how close they got, but they were trying to stage a bit of a coup. And there are people in the United States that are actively trying to start a race war. That's why they had that shooting in that black church. He told the police that that's why that happened, is because he wants to start a race war. So, um, like I said, I don't know that it's necessarily the best answer, but I'm hedging my bet on some type of discipline for these young people. My father was in the service, and so a lot of sensibilities that I have from my parents, I think that some of these generations are losing those sensibilities. Um, and this is just my opinion, but I think they're losing some of those sensibilities. And like for myself, and I said this several times, when I go to another country, I never stop being a black man in another country. And I'm always using my sixth sense to navigate in spaces. And I get very nervous for some of these young people who were not raised with that kind of awareness, that never heard of a green book, that doesn't know the 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And in a world that has been so, tainted by racism and tainted by these right wing people and cultural wars and stuff, that they don't have those same sensibilities about. Like the other day, I had to tell my little cousin, I'm just like, when you go in the shop, take your hood off. Do not walk through the door with the hood on your head. You don't want to give people the wrong idea. And I've said this to several other people. Don't go into a space like that with a hood on your head. Now, you have every right to do that, but I just think you want to take your hood off your head, take your earphones off, take your hood off your head, and watch the space you're in. That's me. And I hate saying stuff like that because I don't want to instill some paranoia, but I feel obliged to say stuff like that because it just makes sense to me. Be aware of your space. Pay attention to the people around you, especially if you're black. Pay attention to the people around you. I'll tell you guys a funny story I've never told before, at least not on Royal Sussex. So I was showing a couple of students, one from Ukraine and one from Russia. I was showing them around town. And when we went over by the lake, they said, "Oh, look there. Um, there's I see a fish. Do you see it?" I said, "Where?" "Right there." I say, no, I don't see it." "Well, here, come a little closer." I say, "Oh, okay, yeah, I see it." "No, you don't. Come on." I said, And of course, I used a real heavy S word. I said, Nah, nah, nah. Nope, nope, nope. And that's that little, I'm the only black person here. Nah, No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah, I can see just fine for where. Nah, nah, nah. You won't get me. And I'm sure that that wasn't the point of it. But guess what? We'll never find out now, will we? Because, like I say, I navigate spaces with a certain sensibility that I learned from my parents, and that's all to it. Ain't no fish that important. I've seen the fish before. Yeah, right. Uh huh. Nah, nah, nah. That's fine. Dansby1, let's see. Hi, Baron. Love your channel. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for being a member. And thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, so that's a real story. And so if you ever hear that they had to fish me out of the lake, believe me, it wasn't without a fight. It wasn't without a fight. Look for somebody with a hairline fracture to their skull. It was not without a fight. Oh man. I had to laugh at the time, but it's true. I'm just like, uh uh nah, nah, nah. I can see just fine from right here. Right? I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. And the thing is, what's so funny about this situation is that as I just said, one was from Russia and one was from Ukraine. And that had to have been, oh, maybe 7 years ago, something like that. And look at where they are now. And the they were staying at the same hostel, I think it was, or whatever it was. And they were like, when one found out the other one's going to do some sightseeing, they invited themselves. The Russian kid invited himself, and he said, the Ukrainian kid whispered to me, "I don't really like Russians." I say, I know what's going on over there." And in spite of that, I still don't need to see no fish. Nah, that's okay. Let me see. Miss Monty says, Baron, I'm 74 years old, born in the South. I know to navigate my space carefully. Yes. Yes, to put it mildly, that's the only way I could describe it is to know how to navigate your space. Don't take anything for granted. And yeah, when I was in Germany, I think I showed the picture here one time, and I saw these like some of the biggest drunken men walking toward me, and I'm just I'm in this public square with my camera. You better believe I made myself scarce. I made myself scarce. There's like four of them, and I was like, oh no, let me get up out of here because I didn't read too many times where someone's been drunk in a space like that, or a group of people drunk in a space like that, and all of a sudden, that's all they do is notice anybody that doesn't look like them. So I was like, oh yeah, time for me to go. Exit stage left. Let me see if I have that photo. I think was I in Cologne? I think I was in Cologne. And let me see. Oh man, how do you spell it? It's with a K, right? But it wouldn't be. Oh, why am I struggling with the spelling of cologne? Is that it? Oh yeah, it is. It's in German on my computer. Why is that? Uh, so if that is May 9th, 2018. Okay, so I need May of 2018. Yeah, I don't actually have everything labeled as I should, but I can still find it. But yeah, it was like I saw them walking toward me, and I'm just like, oh boy. I didn't want to know. I wasn't going to stick around. That was that sixth sense that was like, okay, bunch of big white guys drunk, go the other way. And that's what I did because you'll be amazed at how you can be in the public space and somebody will watch you get your head kicked in and won't do anything to help you. So that's what I mean about navigating a space. Let me see. Huh. Well, I see the square, but I don't see the guys. So I guess I will continue. But I know I took a picture of them just in case. That's the other thing. Always take a picture just in case. And if you are not a baby boomer and you're listening to my voice, heed what I say to you. Oh, there they are. I found it, you guys. I found it. So I'm going to figure out how to share this with you. Let me see here. Baron, I did the same thing in Munich. This was over 10 years ago. A group of five guys are walking toward me, and I was going to cross the bridge. I stopped and refused to cross until they passed. I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Leslie F. Yep. Listen to that voice deep inside that says, don't do it. Don't do it. So I was like, yeah, y'all got to catch me first. All right, now as per usual, I'm trying to figure out how do I get this photo from here to there. I couldn't just go to it because it's not labeled. Oh, wait, I think I figured it out. Oh, wait. I got it. I do this every time as though this is the first time I've ever used this computer. So, huh. And that didn't work out. Let me see. Okay, do that. And will that work? Man, why is this not working? Cologne Martin Vitrel. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, okay. Nope, that ain't gonna work. I cannot figure this out. Give me just a second so you can see the stuff of my nightmares. And when you see them, you're probably gonna be like, Baron, is that what you was dodging? They were white and drunk. Yep. I heard the loud singing and all that kind of stuff. I was like, uh-oh. And probably made like a Gary Coleman face and a few other things. Yeah. Get thee behind me, Satan. Okay. Okay, y'all. I'm so sorry. I cannot figure out what I'm doing here. And I do this all the time. That's what's so weird about this, is I do this all the time, and I cannot make this do what I need it to do. Okay, try that. Okay. My apologies. I'm not able to do what I need to do. Okay, I'm gonna just try once more. And if this don't work, then it's time to move on. Oh, okay. All right, so let me take this away, and I gotta hide my face. Wait. Okay, take Leslie away, and I gotta hide my face, but you'll see it. Now, about that kind of hide. So that's the group of them on the left side. This was the only way I could bring it up. But take a look on the left. Start from the far left and work your way. Yeah, you see what I mean? It was like 7 of them. And I heard that loud singing and all that bantering and stuff like that. And I was like, nope. Nope. Right. And I want to believe that there was nothing to it and nothing was going to happen. But that, like I said, that sixth sense, the same person who wouldn't look at that fish, that's the same person that was not going to wait until these drunkards got that close. So there you go. So anyway, that was that right here. Just discovering my words are being used as an attack. If you guys remember, not so long after that, well done, British press. Clarity. The British monarchy is archaic. In my American eyes, if slavery, colonialism, and apartheid didn't educate you that they are racist, you failed history. And then he went on to say, I was fortunate to tell Megan personally, I wish her all the best predicting this hellacious, was that hailstorm, maelstrom, milestone, anyway. I also told her she would always have a friend in me because I had no interest in the interview. Doesn't change that. So there you go. That was just a little taste of the support that was given to Megan by her TV dad. And that was her TV dad for like what, 6 years? Speaking of dads, take a look at that. I don't know what was going on with William, but as you know, just when you think you've seen every possible bizarre look that he's capable of, he'll always surprise you with another. So there you go. That's interesting. Somebody who never calls me. All right. And take a look here. I'm going to make myself disappear again. Um, Now, there's a little Easter egg in the photo. There's actually two of them. One of them is up high. Can you see another one? I'm going to remove myself from here so you can see. Like I said, there is an Easter egg or a corn. Let me know if you can find any other corn in this photo. Do you guys see any other corns? Now you have to look careful because there's more than one piece of corn in this photo. Hello, Ivy here. Really? I thought I put two pieces of corn up there. You guys see a third piece of corn? Oh my God, that looks like it hurts. That looked like it hurts. Now, okay. To be fair, maybe it's just no. You know what I was gonna say? Maybe it's like the leather, a crease in the. Mm, that looked like it hurts. That looked like it hurts. Yeah, that looked like it hurts. I saw like a close-up screenshot. Am I being petty here or what? But I saw a close-up screenshot and I was like, ouch, ouch. Okay, and as we discussed earlier, Meghan Markle's Archetype podcast at Spotify won't be renewed. Duchess of Sussex show is casualty of audio companies' revamp approach. Well, as far as that's concerned, um, yes, there is a bit of a revamp going on, and all of the streaming services all of the streaming services seem to have had like layoffs. Like for instance, the growth during the pandemic was miraculous, but after the post-pandemic growth, people went back to work and so on. So that is not just something that happened with Spotify, but with other streaming services. So I'm thinking that there was like this massive investment in the streaming services, and they were like gearing up for more, and so laying off a lot of technical people at Spotify. And it is hard to understand because if I recall, didn't Spotify like get, oh, I forget how many millions of paid subscriptions because of Archetypes? In that period of time of Archetypes, they grew a lot by terms of paid subscribers. So it's difficult to understand, but then again, there's also more competition, especially with Apple's um, podcast and others So there's more competition. So maybe they just can't afford as much. But let's remember that our Duchess did win the People's Choice Award for Archetypes. And what else? The Gracie Award, and so on. So this just a mere blip on the radar. The streaming service, or should I say, the podcast, may come back under a new platform or something like that, and so we'll just have to wait and look forward to it. So there you go. And why is this here? That should have been at the top. Oh, I don't know. Oh, and let me see. Is this the last thing for tonight? Yes, this is the last for tonight. U.S. Senate confirms Nusrat Chowdhury, the first Muslim female federal judge. Yes, here's the first. The first female woman judge in the federal courts. Let me see. Nominated to serve as federal judge in the Eastern District of New York, appears before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee in Washington, D.C. on April 27, 2022. The U.S. Senate. Okay. So, yes, I think the Senate has voted to confirm her. So I think she's in, right? I think she's in. So, yeah, confirmed. So there you go. We have a Muslim woman that is a federal court judge, which means that there is always a possibility that her name may be thrown out there for a Supreme Court justice. That's usually where they come from, is from the federal courts. So watch that space, as they say. And with that, thank you all so much for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you all for your comments. And well, we talked about some really deep stuff today. Thank you for being open and sharing, and in some cases, being downright vulnerable. This is how we learn. We teach each other, and that's a good thing. Thank you to the moderators for keeping this a safe space. And remember the link at the top. Oh, you know what? I was listening to, let me do this, because one of the reasons why I work so hard to promote other channels is because I know how much work goes into streaming live, pre-recorded videos. It all takes work. So if you are not subscribed to Facts and Two Cents, please do. Pedo works extremely hard. I always call Petal the prosecutor because it's not just so much about the fact that she's there. It's as much work as she puts into each and every stream. And also the fact that she's very knowledgeable. She's very passionate about what she does. And she deserves more subscribers. And if you have not subscribed, please do, because it's a lot of hard work she's doing. And I know that the field of subscriptions are saturated. We have an embarrassment of riches. There's so many channels now, but I promise you, Petal is one of the hardest working content creators I know. And I think that that if you have not subscribed, you should, and also watch Facts and Two Cents. Okay, please do that. So that is the link to her channel, and she had a new video today. Okay. All right. I just heard myself. Hey, Lydia Washington. Okay, so let me pin that to the top of the chat. So please like, share, subscribe, as I always say. Trust me when I say this, Petal works extremely hard. If she's not at 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, there is no justice. And if there's no justice, there's no peace. So go over there and subscribe. And you'll find a lot of your squatty family from here is going to be there to greet you. So thank you very much. All right. So with that, thank you all, and have a good night. Stay safe, hydrate, etc. Thank you, Jael. Right. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Panther. Thank you. Thank you, VS. As a matter of fact, Jael and VS, there are 2 other Sussex-friendly spaces. See there? Like I said, it's an embarrassment of riches. We have so many Sussex-friendly spaces. Like, subscribe, and share. Share. Get that algorithm up. Share. Okay. I'm looking for a last word. Okay, that's it. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Great. That sounds good to me. Right? We have an embarrassment of riches. Remember when it was just a couple of channels and not even every day? Not even every day. And now when something breaks out, there's always a go-to space. And VS is usually on before everybody. So there's your morning right there. And then God only knows when I show up, but there's your afternoon, evening, or wee hours of the morning right there. Who knows when I show up? I'm shady like that. Oh, man. Okay. And then Sundays, there's Ivy and Lady Sussex. Oh, and what's her name? So see there? It's all good. Okay. So I'm a little dehydrated, so I better get going. All right. And love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you to our queens. Congratulations to our new Supreme Court Justice. And, okay. Let me leave something else on the screen. Okay. I'll put that one up. Wait, where is that one? Okay, there we go. I'll put that one up. That is from, well, the other series that they had, the one that they hosted. That is it. Can't think right now. Okay. And good night, y'all. I'm going to cue Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay, thank you. Please go to the community tab and you'll find links to other great Sussex channels and more information. you will find that video with Denise Welsh, the one that I mentioned. It'll raise your blood pressure, but she gave them hell, so you'll like it. So yeah, go to the community tab and you will find lots of information there. All right, good night, y'all.